This is MikeBot. Today is the configuration overview video of the Ender 5 Pro that I purchased. So as some of you may or may not have seen, I did have an unboxing video with this, and I had a build video, and I've also started uploading the time-lapse videos slowly on YouTube. There's a lot of them. There will be many more to come. There is no end to the videos I'm going to be making on this printer. There's going to be lots of upgrades, lots of stuff that comes through, so check back regularly to keep an eye on any new stuff, new information that I have. So first thing I wanted to start with, this came with the magnetic bed, as you can see. One of the first lessons I learned is leveling your bed. Very important to do. If you don't do so, you'll end up damaging, like I did here. I dug pretty deep in, so I ordered a new magnetic one. The bed itself is a little bit damaged, but still good. It still heats, it still works. The first couple prints I did have had issues, and it was all related to leveling from what I can see, as well as the G-code I used. So speaking of G-code, as some of you know, or if you're new to this and you don't know, when you get files for this, they're usually in an STL format or different types of formats I'm not familiar with yet, and you'll need to convert them or slice them, as the term goes. So when you slice them, it turns them into G-code, and this is what the printer reads. Basically, you add the G-code onto the SD card that it came with, the micro SD card, and then you pop it into the printer right at the bottom here, like so. I will be doing a close-up shot shortly on everything as well, so don't worry. So once it's converted to G-code, you can tweak it, modify it, whole other series of videos. I still got to learn how to do it, and I'll get into that in time as well. So once the G-code is on here, you go into your settings and you start the print. So let's backtrack a little bit. Before you start printing, you need to level the bed, like I said. So you'll need to get yourself, there's different methods of leveling the bed. There's the method where you put a piece of paper, slide it. I didn't like that method. I ended up picking up, I'm going to be showing you everything I picked up for this thing. Ended up picking up these here. They're different, I forget what it's called for some reason, but there's different measurements. I usually go with, it's very oily. I usually go with the there it is, the 0.25 millimeter. So you can use this to help you level it as well. Basically, you put it under here once you move the bed up and down and adjust it accordingly. I also have your classic level, mini level. This doesn't work very well because no matter what I do, it shows me that it's level. So what I've been using is I've been using a digital leveler. This thing works wonders. I love it. Good investment. I paid 50 some bucks off of Amazon for it. I will also post a link at the bottom of this video for that. And I've also gone ahead and ordered more of these, but the small tiny versions. So right now, it says my bed, because I just moved the printer. I tried leveling it yesterday. It's leveled almost perfectly everywhere. I do need to make some adjustments and tweaks. I try to keep it around 0.05 at the most. When I go on the angle, actually it's leveled perfectly right now, as a matter of fact, which is great. So once you level your bed, next step you want to do is use the little slicer here and make sure the tip is no higher than the thickness of whichever one you use. So I'm going to go through all that with you guys shortly. Another trick I learned as well is the bed heating. My first few prints failed because the objects weren't sticking. I fixed that by raising the bed temperature to 67 degrees Celsius. I also set the head to about 205, and I printed at 100 milliseconds or whatever that speed is. If for some reason that still doesn't work for you, good old glue stick, bottom of the bed, works wonders as well. I've also picked up this brand here. I think it's called Airy One filament, which is a decent filament, 30 bucks off of Amazon. I'm still using the test filament, not a big fan of the test one. It feels really cheap, the products don't stick. Here's the test filament. So this here is a backing for the circuit board or the little module screen. very important you print that and get it installed right away. What you want to start with, you can find a whole bunch of different G codes online, and you can print all the little upgrades. So there's the Y-axis, the Z-axis cover, the cover for this, there's brackets, braces. You want to print all that stuff, get it going with your printer, better than buying it, right? What else have I purchased? So I showed you that. Make sure you have a couple micro SD cards around. I've also printed a little tool holder, like so. This holds all the tools that it came with. Everything is nice and tight, very important as well. I've upgraded the springs for the bed. I should not have done that because now I just probably unaligned my measurements. And last but not least, I've twist tied all the cables so nothing pulls, tugs. Keep a close eye on that. And I've also installed a camera, which you can see, to keep an eye on the prints when I'm not around. So now I'm going to do a zoom in of everything. So I will grab my DSLR camera. Of course, I left it on, so the battery's dead. I'll just change the battery out here really quick. So if you have the budget for it, make sure you buy a UPS for this and an uninterruptible power supply. Nothing is worse than your print stopping halfway through because you lost power. I did a test where I paused the print and I continued it, and I can tell you right off the bat, even if you do lose power, your print is basically done because it cools the filament down so much that becomes the weak point of the object when you're printing it. So in my case, I was printing an exhaust tip, and when I paused it for a minute and resumed, the tip became brittle at that section and broke right away. Okay, so apparently all my batteries are dead for my DSLR camera, so I'm just gonna have to grab this main camera I'm shooting with and do my walk around like that. Okay, so first things first, flick the power switch. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. There it is, it's on now. So I did do a firmware update video as well, so look for that video as well. So therefore I am running Merlin 1.2.1. So first thing you want to do is go to prepare, then click auto home, and then as you see the bed is raising. And then once it hits, the screw hits the stopper at the back, the bed stops going up and goes down a little bit. Like so. So now once it's there, I go to I go to prepare, move axis, Z, and I'm going to move it down by about 0.6, 0.8. So now I take my little tool here that I showed you. I highly recommend you pick these up. It's better than using a piece of paper. And I'm going to go with, let's go with 0.7 because I'm at 0.8 at the moment. Slide it under here. It's pretty loose. Perfect, and that's how you want it. I like to leave it just a little bit more than the tip, but you're gonna need to keep an eye on your print to keep track of all that. So now I'm gonna go through my level. So when I adjusted the knob earlier, I guess it threw it off by that much. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to prepare, move axis, and then I'm going to bring it down to 2 because I want to move my magnet here and align it a little better. I'm just going to put the camera down. Okay, the bed is aligned, the magnetic bed is aligned again. So here's the damage I did the first time when I didn't know what I was doing and the bed wasn't leveled properly. You gotta make sure nothing is pulling, everything is nice. So we're gonna go back and change this to 0.8. Always check, triple, quadruple, 5 times, 6 times. Check. There's no problem with checking more times. So I'm just gonna look for the 0.7 again. This is really oily, by the way, so if you buy this, just know that it's super oily. Okay, 0.3. I'm gonna put the camera down until I find the right one. There it is, 0.7. So this is just my experience. You guys can adjust and play how you like. Okay, so see, right now it's at 0.8, but it's off again for some reason. So I'm gonna have to keep lowering it. Go back to Z. Oh, wrong one. Go back to Z. Bring it down to 1 millimeter. Still on there too tight. Keep going. Bring it to 2. Okay, so 2. My 0.7 says it's really tight. Do I have the right one here? 0.07. Oh, that's why I'm using 18 millimeters. I'm gonna put my camera down here again until I find the right one. 0.025004. Okay, here it is. So I found my 0.07. I'm just gonna go find a place to wipe my hands from the oil. Okay, so I got 0.07. Still too tight. See, it goes under, but it's a little rough, so I'm gonna have to keep making my adjustments. You'll have to play around with this until you find what works for you. So for me, setting this at 2.1 gets it to the 0.07. All right, so now I'm gonna go back here, crushing everything, and re-level the bed. So like I said, I try to keep the range around 0.05. So that's perfect. I can work with that. I can work with that. So this side needs a little bit of adjusting. So I'm going to turn the knob clockwise a little bit. Now we're 0 there again. 0.5. I'm going to go clockwise again. Okay. You have to do this repeatedly until you get it right. Okay, that works. 0.06. And then don't forget to do your angles. So I need to go clockwise. Like so. And then check this side again. And then check this angle. Okay, so that's pretty level in my opinion. I'm gonna grab the little sticks again. The thickness gauge. Finally, the name came back to me. I'm gonna grab it here. Okay, that works. So there we go. The bed is level to my likings. So once that's all set, it's an auto homed, it's set. You want to preheat your PLA. So I'm preheating my PLA now. While it does that, I'm going to go through the different stuff I have here to print. So today I'm going to print the Batarang, which is a 2.5 hour. So while it heats up, I'm going to go to the fine tune. I'm going to set the nozzle to, like I said, 205. We have enough filament for that. And I'm going to set the bed to 65. And then we go back to main, info screen. So we're at 105 for the probe, 36 for the bed. Just wait for it to get up to speed. I got I got oil all over this, so just give it a wipe. Okay, so while it heats up, I'm going to do an unboxing for another upgrade I bought. I do have a few other upgrades coming, and I will be doing videos on all of that. So this here is the glass bed by Creality. I'm just opening it now for the first time. Sorry for all the movement. And here's the glass bed. So because I don't want to damage it for now, because I'm not planning to use it, I'm going to put it back over here. So if you have the glass bed, you'll notice there's no way to really clip it there. Check on the temperature here. The nozzle's good. The bed's still heating up. So you'll need to clip the glass bed with these things. The more the better. This here is the nozzle cleaner. So the temperature is almost good to go. I'll be doing another video with the glass bed at some point, so don't worry. The bed's at 60 degrees, nozzle's at 206. Just waiting for the bed now, the bed's at 62. I'm gonna actually boost the bed temperature up to 67, because 67 was the magic number for me. Probe's at 205, bed's at 64. So while it does that, I'm going to point this out. So if you might notice when you buy your printer, you might get dust on the wheels. So that dust is actually not dust from your house, but it's actually the wheels grinding down. That's normal for the first few prints, and it's supposed to die down after a while. So there we go, the bed's adjusting. It just went down a little bit. I don't know why it's going down so much, but the print's about to start. I gotta keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't grind on the bed. So if I did my settings right, this should start working properly. So if you guys hear that ticking sound, I don't know why it does that, let me know. And I just wanted to show the dust off here again. Okay, so it looks like I have an issue here with the filament. It's not going through properly for some reason, because the batarang is not printing, as you can see. Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop the printing right away. I just made a mistake on camera. Really bad mistake too. I just damaged my bed even more. So something was off with the bed measurements. That's not good. This is why you need to check multiple times. I'm just gonna go back to the axis, move the bed down. Pull this. Good thing I ordered a new magnetic bed. It's really hot. I shouldn't have touched it. Just show you guys how badly I messed that up. So, unfortunately, this bed might be compromised now. I'm not sure if the print's gonna work. Okay, well, I'm still in my testing phases, so I'm just gonna have to eat it and work with that. The print's not gonna come out that well, so go back here, raise the bed up accordingly. This is the new firmware I'm using, so I don't know if that's what the problem is. Okay. All right, let's try that again. Sucks. They did say 3D printers can be frustrating. So I'm gonna go back, click prepare, preheat PLA. While it does that, I'll go to print a TF. I'm gonna look for the batarang again, and this time I'm gonna make sure I fine tune it properly. Okay, so it says it's at 2.8 for the Z-axis. The probe and the bed are heating up. That's bad. Luckily these things are only 25 bucks, but geez. Bed's at 60, probe's at 150. Gotta fine tune the probe again. 205. Get that bed back to 67. So before I updated the firmware, I didn't have an issue with this, so I'm starting to kind of regret updating the firmware. Okay, everything is pretty much up to temperature, so it's gonna start again. Hopefully it doesn't start playing around with the settings. So I gotta remember, Z is 2.8 in case it decides to play with the settings again. The extruder is still heating. Oh, it's playing with my settings again. Okay, so I'm gonna have to tune it really quick before it starts. Come on. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, I'm gonna troubleshoot this and resume my vid. Yeah, so I messed up my bed really bad. So this batarang that I'm gonna print is it's not gonna come out right. So basically what I just did was I adjusted this stopper screw in the back, and hopefully that's gonna be the difference. Now I made it so that it's impossible for it to grind like it's doing. Okay, so it's actually working now, but the bed's really messed up and warped, so I don't know how this is gonna come out. Okay, so lesson learned. When you do the new firmware, do more tests, more checking. That stopper screw made all the difference. My bed is wrecked, so I might even have to order a new heat bed, unfortunately, but I'm gonna try to get in touch with them for a warranty on that. I did buy from ComGrow, so ComGrow says they have support. I don't have a lot of filament coming out, so I'll just keep an eye on things and I'll check on this shortly. Okay, so the disaster continues. I had to get rid of the other bed because it's destroyed, so I put on my glass sheet, clipped it down like I mentioned. I retuned the little knob in the back and all the measurements and everything, and I changed my filament. It doesn't like the stock filament it came with, so now it's printing away the batarang, attempt 5. It's not scratching the glass, that's a good sign. So I'm just going to keep an eye on things and then continue the video from there. So again, the probe's at 200 and the bed's at 67 degrees. So far it looks like it's doing better. Especially with the newer filament that I just put in. So like I said, I'm just going to keep an eye on everything and see what happens. Alright, so I forgot to plug my microphone in here, so I'm just recording this after the fact. So what happened here was the bed wasn't hot enough and the entire print just jumbled up together because it wasn't sticking to the glass bed. So the correct temperature that worked for me was 85 degrees afterwards. So just pay attention to that. So I accidentally clicked on the wrong build. I chose the Ocarina bottom half. So it's working away at it. I still have some issues clearly. I'm blaming this completely on the new firmware. So that's it for now. Stay tuned for a part 2 of the configuration and tweaking video. So as you know, I am learning this stuff as time goes. Every day I learn something new. As I learn stuff, I will add them to my videos and upload them. So that's it for now. We're going to call this one Configuration Part 1. Thank you all for watching. Please comment below if you have any comments, or if you have any questions for me. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Lightbot out.